yeah, I was like, what the heck? So I had to pull up Streamlabs because I guess this is like a new feature that they got. But anyway, okay. I was just trying to go live real quick. So I put on the news, and all I'm thinking about, by the way, when I see this is like, there's all these people hustling and bustling. They're going to work, they're busting their ass, and really, it's not. Most people, they're not stupid. Like people call them sheep and stuff like that, but it's like, it's hard to like keep up with your bills, especially right after Christmas. Like, imagine a single mother, she got a couple kids, she's heading out the door, and she watches this.
But a lot of that information could be fake. NBC analysts found fake health tips dominate real news on some topics. Some of the biggest offenders, conspiracy theories about doctors hiding a cure for cancer.
They love that
Also
word.
claims that herbs and exotic fruits can cure all kinds of diseases, as well as false claims that vaccines are dangerous. Individual articles can grab millions of hits
Well,
with
you hear that last
misinformation.
one?
Of course, the best source for your health information is just to talk to your doctor.
Great advice there, Joy. Thank you. In today's money clip, some new federal regulations mean you could be paying more in late
Now,
fees
did you
for
guys
your
hear
credit card
that
bills.
last one that they said?
To explain it all, good morning.
They start off with, oh, conspiracy, there's a cure for cancer, nobody knows about all this crap. And that the V word is dangerous. Listen, I'm not a doctor, so don't take my advice. But one thing I do know, let me show this off. I just wanted to show you that quick little clip because it's just they played it at the perfect time. It was actually that actually aired. It was like 6:30. It was like just the beginning. It was like, oh, health thing. It was like 6:32. It's like as people were going out the door, and it's like it's 6:49. Yeah, that was around like 6:32, and it's like, you know, just automatically just dismissing this stuff. Like how do they know? How this local Boston station? They don't know what's going on and what they have a cure for and all this stuff. There is things that can be cured, and they just scientists end up dead. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. There's actually they've been experimenting with mushrooms, and, even magic mushrooms. There's all kinds of medical stuff for that. But there's other stuff with mushrooms that they're just finding out now that can change the Western medicine forever. It's unbelievable. You guys should look into this stuff. I learned it from this guy, Paul Stammet. Damn, I'll have to look it up. I didn't expect to talk to him about it. But I just wanted to show you that. Just the way they sneak it in there at the end. And conspiracy theorists. And they even say that it's dangerous to get your kids. All right? That's like the one word, that and effect. I don't know, say it. But, to get that, they even say it's dangerous and not the one for the flu. You know, like, how could they? Why would they ever think that? And again, I'm not a doctor, but I do know I am an expert in when people are purposely deceiving the public. And the way they did that, the time they did it, the way they led up to those words, it was dishonest, misleading, and it was straight up, it's deceiving. Um, I, that's how much I know, and it's got to make you think why. And I've read the science, and I've seen a lot of convincing arguments that hey, this stuff might not be not even that, but then the other one that you get every year that we all are supposed to get every year. I don't, but they just guess. They just guess. They haven't gotten it right in years. They're just like, the F. All right, sure, that one. All right, and it's like they guess every year what the strand's gonna be. They don't know. They just guess, and they get it wrong. The last, I think it's like I got to look up the exact number, but they've gotten it wrong like for many years in a row now. They haven't gotten it right. So it's like people think they're all good, but in reality, if you have been getting them, those things, the these last however many years, it's been a good amount of years, They've gotten it wrong every single year. You are no more, safe from that than the next person who didn't get it. So that, I mean, that's a totally different thing. But it's like, but one thing, but what it also does is it makes you sick. A lot of times people get that one, just the shot you can get at CVS. They get sick. My daughter got sick. She's never fully gotten over it. It's the only time she's gotten sick is the two times she got the FU. So it's like, now the other stuff, you know, we got them. We had no choice. But that's fucking bullshit. And the fact that they like now they what they'll say, this is how they'll answer that. Well, the reason why we push it so hard is because we've seen what happened in California. People stop getting it. All of a sudden, we start seeing diseases showing up that haven't been around for hundreds of years. Maybe it's because you literally have conditions in your cities that haven't been experienced in the history of humankind. I mean, there's never been so many people where we're able to sustain life like that, but just living like it. I mean, I guess there's probably some, but in the United States of America, the way they live, that's why they're all sharing needles. That's where the diseases are coming from. Undocumented immigrants coming from countries with all this crazy stuff. I mean, when people migrate to another place, they're going to bring diseases. Do you think the Native Americans got killed just by war? No, 99% of them just died from disease from the white men. And I'm sure if they came to Europe, then they would have brought disease. It's just kind of getting off track a little bit, but at the same time, I'm not. The thing is, it's tough because it sucks. I can't even say the word. I can't even say the word. But you guys know what I'm saying. You know, V. And like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I do know when they're being like they're being deceiving. And then they kind of, when they talk about, they're like, well, in California, some people weren't getting it, and look at all these diseases that came up. When you look at where those diseases came out of, they came out of the tent cities in LA and the tent cities or whatever they have, like the shelters in San Francisco where they have feces on the ground. I mean, these people, it's like they give them so much free stuff that they are like gluttonous homeless people that just kind of like don't care. They poop on the sidewalk. They'll throw their needle down. Like I remember watching this daycare. They have a certain word if they see a needle, and then all the kids stop and they're all in a string in a line, and there's a certain word the teacher says, and then she picks up the needle, and it's like a normal everyday routine. Or if there's poop, they gotta like walk on the other side, and it's like literally this is happening the whole walk, like all over the place. Shit, needles. That's why they had got all those diseases. It wasn't because people, stopped doing yeah, and I'm no. Don't get me wrong. There's certain ones that I do believe are needed. I mean, obviously we've cured some diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries, and that's important. But with what we know and what we know what the elite do you put it past them that, I don't know, they might put something in to make us a little bit more kind of, go with the flow? Like, I mean, I can't even like speak words I want to speak right now. They just want people to be compliant. And if they can mandate putting that's like the easiest way. That's pretty easy. I mean, they're doing everything. There's stuff in the sky, stuff in the water, frequencies, the 5G. There's so many different ways we're getting hit. And then on top of all of it, the reason that they can do what they just did on the news is because of Obama in 2012, the Smith-Mundt Act. And I try to bring it up as much as I can because it's one of those red pills. When people hear it, a lot of people don't even know about it. Like, no, just a lot of you might, because you're my audience. I talk about it a lot. And just truthers in general, a lot of truthers might know it. But most people have no clue that we always had the ban on I'm sorry, on propaganda. We're not Russia, right? We don't freedom. That's if you guys saw the thumbnail was the it's Thomas Jefferson. It's a good quote. Let me see. Yeah, quote by Thomas Jefferson. I mean, the founding fathers are very smart guys. Like a lot of what they did, it's like timeless. And people try to act like, oh, what they were talking about is a different time. It's like no, they were forward thinkers. Like uh, our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. Now, see how smart that was? Because just now, of course, places like China, they just take away the freedom of the press. Even the UK, they do gag orders like nothing. Like that guy Tommy Robbins, he got locked up. It was all because gag orders. He violated a gag order, and he had a gag order. That's BS about stuff that people should know. If they don't want the public to know, they're like, "Yep, no gag order." And we do it. We don't do it as much as the UK, but and the thing is, in 2012, Smith-Mundt Act, all of a sudden they lift the ban on propaganda. And I know that's almost like a double negative, so let me say it real clear. We now have made it so that in the United States, the government, the media can lie to us with propaganda. So, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if this is the case or not, but I do know that they can lie to us and purposely deceive us. And it's so obvious. Once you start to see it and you just, I mean, I've been kind of inundated with this stuff my whole life, really. Just kind of, I was awake for a while, and I know a lot of you guys were too. And it's like, you start to pick up on it. It's just like, how don't other people see it? But you gotta give people a break because it would be like people being red pilled. I was talking to this yesterday with someone. It's almost like they just wake up. It's like they might like kind of question things, but it's like there's something. There's just that one thing, and that's like my favorite thing. Is if somebody really they're not sure. They're like, is some of the most of this stuff BS? And I try to keep any of the BS stuff off my channel. I try to give you stuff that I can back up with fact, right? So it's not conspiracy theory. No one can ever say it's conspiracy theory. It's stuff that you might not know. And if I have an opinion, I'll say it as opinion. That's why I'm saying I'm not a doctor. And in my opinion, I don't trust them. That's what I'll say. I don't trust that. And they're going to put it in kids and they're going to put it in us. I don't know I know that they used to have mercury. And that's the first thing I had. I said, is there mercury on it? And they go, oh, good question. Actually, no, we don't do mercury anymore. I was like, all right, good. So, you got to know, ask that. That's one question I know to ask. The rest of it, I mean, we're not scientists. We're not doctors, so we trust the media. Yet, with the Smith-Mundt Act, the media can lie to us anytime they want. Thanks, Obama. And why hasn't Trump overturned that? I'm not letting Trump off the hook yet. Why hasn't he overturned the Smith-Mundt Act and placed the ban back on propaganda? Why? Again, Thomas Jefferson, our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. So just limiting the freedom of the press, just a little bit, with corruption, with any of this crap, makes it obsolete. They got it. They understood that. As soon as people could not trust the press 100%, now you have channels like Red Pill Dispensary. You have other channels that I'm gonna tell you they're not gonna be as honest as me, and it's gonna be more so about money and an agenda. They might be getting paid by somebody, the shills, and this stuff exists. I mean, like, you guys seen this stuff with Secure Team 10. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about them, but I'm sorry if you guys believe that story. It's like you guys gotta you guys can't be so gullible, please. Like that poor guy, I kind of feel bad for him, but just tell the truth. No one cares that much. People just care when like you like sit there and like make them like feel like. But then again, I looked at it, had like thousands of likes and like 200 dislikes. So maybe people are stupid. So maybe he's right. Maybe it's fine that he does it like that. People are just stupid. I don't know. I'm not saying you guys, but some of those channels that have like, 2 million subscribers, it's like, and it's all alien and all that. It's like, yeah, all right. They believe anything. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And you know what? It's dumbing down our society. Um, I'm telling you, it's a bigger problem than people realize. The distrust in the media, which is 100% warranted. They'll try to blame Trump. Well, Trump started coining the term fake news. Actually, it was Hillary Clinton that started saying fake news first. That's the truth. If you look back, Hillary Clinton was saying it, and brilliantly, I mean, it was a great political move. Trump heard that, and he was like, "What? It's actually the other way around." And he goes, "But that's a good phrase. Thanks, Hillary." He started using it so much it like became his thing, and like he basically like stole that term. That was her term first. She said that term first. It's pretty crazy. I saw her in this documentary. It's pretty interesting. um but yeah, you can't, if you can't trust the media, how are we supposed to be informed on these things? Especially like we don't live in a time where it's just simple time. You go out, you milk the cow, you get your milk, then you go out and you feed the chickens, and then sit down, have some lemonade. No, we live in a time with artificial intelligence, quantum mechanics, opening up different dimensions. Literally, AI is going to be a sentient being pretty soon. It's already latched itself all over the internet and started communicating, and they shut it down. But guess what? That thing, it's a self-learning, and the first thing it's going to learn is how to survive. And it put itself all over the internet. And so that AI, and eventually they want to have it come up, and it's gonna start controlling us. It's gonna start learning how to control humans. I mean, people have learned how to control humans. Imagine what AI is going to do. I mean, just with some secret knowledge that's being passed down in places like Skull and Bones and, Bohemian Grove, which, by the way, I have a very interesting story tonight. I'm not giving anything away. I'll say one word: Redwood. That's it. It's gonna be awesome. I didn't plan on doing this video. I just heard that and I was like, that is so, that is so like it's just deceiving, and I hate it. I hate it, and that's nothing compared to the opinion news, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, even the Fox News, all of them. The opinion news. It's not news. I just want to hear the news. What happened? Not your opinion and put your spin on it, whether you're right or left. I just want to know what the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like the left. It's like, what, Trump, of course, had a. It always has to be something bad. If every single thing he does is bad, then why are so many things going good? I know that not everything he does is good, but then with the Fox News, is every single thing he does is good. I mean, that's not possible. No one's perfect. So it's like, can't we just have people tell it straight? Like, what happened to journalism? One thing Trump does say that's 100% true is the journalists and the media are the enemy of the people. They are, big time. They are keeping us in the dark. But I promise you, I will always be straight with you and give you guys. I'll try to leave my. The only time I kind of get influenced a little bit is with religion, and maybe I should work on that because this is also, uh, let's be honest, it's a Christian channel. It's mostly Christians on here, but if you're not Christian, that's fine. That's Yeah, but I do talk about that stuff here and there. So sometimes I do kind of like, the my stuff in the Bible. I'll kind of let that guide my thinking without even knowing it. But I think that's actually a good thing. But I just don't get it. Everybody knows it now. I mean, it's unavoidable. Everyone knows that there's no such thing as news anymore. It's just opinion. They just like it was a joke on Anchorman. He goes, "Why do we have to tell the people what they need to hear? Why don't we just tell them what they want to hear?" Remember that? Who would ever think that would become the reality of our lives? And I'm telling you that Thomas Jefferson is a real forward thinker. And you know what he used to do? He used to grow two things. And he had slaves, but he was in love with one of them, and they had a bunch of babies. He grew tobacco and marijuana, and he would smoke weed all the time, and came up with all these great quotes and just say them to people. And but he would just say he understood it, he got it. If you limit free speech of the press, the newspapers. He didn't know there would be TVs, but whatever form of news it is, if you limit them or you turn it into propaganda and opinion and not cold hard facts, well, it's gone. The trust is gone, and that's it. There's nothing left. And now nobody's informed. There's a bunch of disinformation. There's a bunch of idiots walking around, and no offense, they think the Earth is flat. There's all these conspiracy theorists that think ridiculous stuff that make truthers, people who actually seek truth, because it's so hard to find these days. But those of us that actually like seek truth, it makes us look bad. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah, ooh, is the Earth flat too? I'm like, ah. But anyways, the point of this video was just to show you that quick. And I just think of like the single mother running out the door quick, you know, health update, and it comes on real quick. And it's like a lot of conspiracy theorists, and they say there's cures for cancer. They just start saying like crazy stuff. Although, I think there might be a cure for cancer somewhere. Probably not though, because didn't one of the Rothschilds just die of cancer? But then again, they were like what, 101 years old? So I don't know. Maybe they just let them go. Um, anyway, and then they go into that. You know, like how dare you even question? You think the government would actually put stuff in a chemical and to control you? You think we would do that? You guys ever looked at some of the the unclassified CIA documents? You kidding me? The stuff they've been doing to us throughout history, and they've just been progressing, and progressing, and now it's at a point like, and that was kind of why that Tyler guy. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? You're saying you got arrested, they set you up and beat you up for days. And I don't mean to talk about that. I don't even know this guy. I'm just saying I just seen it and I was like, what is this? This is crazy. They beat you up for days to get you to shut up about the disclosure of aliens. With all the government's might, power, influence, money, um, connections, obviously. I mean, we run every aspect of everyone's lives. I mean, that's the big problem. Everyone says the government's too big, and it is. If you look at income, the biggest income per household is right around DC, in Virginia, in Southern Virginia, and Northern Maryland. That is, you would think it would be like Silicon Valley, Manhattan, even Cambridge or Boston up here. No, right around DC. Because the government's so big, they got their tentacles and everything. So you think they're gonna do all that and beat you up, and you're gonna shut up and you're gonna stop talking, And then he doesn't have one mark on him. Yeah, he still comes out and does his little expose video. Trust me, if the government wants you to shut up, you're gonna shut up. And they're probably gonna start with, I don't know, taking down your YouTube channel, or at the very least, like demonetizing you. Like, dude's like straight up monetized and still has his YouTube. Like, don't you think that's where they would start? We need to know. Shut up. What can we do? Hmm. Well, we don't want to shut down his YouTube channel. That would be too easy. Let's make up a fake charge and kidnap him, bring him to jail, and beat him up, and then give him some super cream where all the bruises and cuts go away. I'm sorry to make fun of this guy, but I don't like it when people just straight up look at the people and like they just think people are stupid. Just lie to them. Kind of like that woman on the news just did. So that's just a little morning red pill for you guys. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes open. The deception is real. And once again, to quote the great Thomas Jefferson, who was sitting on his porch smoking his weed, and he's a great man. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press. Our liberty, it depends on the freedom of the press. Think about those words. And that cannot be limited or it will be lost. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited or it will be lost. That's my quote of the day. I found that extremely profound, especially after seeing that garbage on the Boston news up here. This is the Red Pill News. Then we changed the name of the channel to make it easier to find. It's too wordy. This is the Red Pill Dispensary. I have a great video for you guys tonight. Have a great day. Yeah, security. I just don't want to talk bad about them. And guys, any questions you guys have for me? Like I said, I didn't pay attention to the chat just because I'm just trying to do this quick. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do today. And the baby, what time is it? Oh, she's gonna be up any minute, so I'm surprised she's not up. Usually she's up by 7. But she'll be up any minute. Like Mary's still sleeping, so Philly's sleeping. Philly. Look at her. She won't move. Philly. Oh, there. Like literally, like this dog. All right, so oh man, I always do that. So yeah, any questions, please? Oh yeah, the press was a long time ago, but it's different. Like when you put it into law, like for instance, like they've been like messing around with organs and stuff for a while, right? But what Virginia was trying to do, remember that governor in Virginia? He was trying to do, forget about late term abortion. He was trying to do after birth. I don't know how you could call that an abortion. The baby's born, it's fully grown and born. And then if the mother, while she's drugged up, by the way, says, yes, I don't want the baby, I can't handle the responsibility, in that moment, then they have the permission to, that's it. And the whole thing is they wanted to make it into law. Because the thing is, right now, what they do is they get it, and you only have so much time to get it on ice. If you make it legal, then they can create this second area where they can store them and do it legally and not have to, it'd be totally different. And that would increase their profit. I heard numbers of they could get $500,000. I don't even want to say the word. Yeah. Already born, and then they just I mean, I don't know what kind of mother would do that, but it it happens. We always hear about it. People throwing garbage cans, stuff like that. If like the doctors legitimize it and then the lawmakers make it law, that's the whole thing. They have to. That's what they're worried about is the legalese of it. Is it considered a person or meat? Is it meat or a person with rights? If they had won that case, it goes from a baby with rights to just meat. And then that changes the whole way that they handle it and what they can do and how they can do it and as far as selling organs and things like that. Obviously, one of the huge, very big things is the stem cells. I mean, they have like I mean, this stuff this stuff. I don't know if this the adrenochrome. There's all kinds of stuff that, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I've heard it explained. It makes sense. I just don't want to say things that I don't know to be fact, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of weird little things, and it's like, why are they trying to legalize something like that? And that's the whole point. Once it's legal, it's like they've always kind of bullshitted, right? The news, they bullshitted before 2012 for sure. I remember millions of times. Remember in Iraq the fake sirens with the fake gas masks, and they were in a studio the whole time, and they're pretending they have to put on a gas mask real quick and all that. Remember that? But they could get in trouble, they could get prosecuted, so it makes people hesitate. Once it becomes law, when Obama signed that and he goes, you know what? No ban on propaganda. We will lie to the American people. Ever since then, it's been like really like outrageously not news and only opinion. And I'm talking about right and left. Nobody is innocent in this game. There is no like channel that's just straight up and honest. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no just all they have to do is just say what happened. They don't have to put their spin on it. Just say, this is what happened, this. Then you don't have to have a discussion about all this BS and spin it your way. It's just, I don't think you would think someone very smart by now with money would say, you know what? I'm going to form a news organization. I'm going to put all this money into it, although it's very difficult with Disney and all Viacom, all these huge media companies that they corner the market. You know what I mean? Nobody can get in, and the only way to get in is to play by their rules. But somehow, someone figures out some way to get people. Trump kind of does it with his Twitter, but most people don't believe him. Half the country hates him. But anyways, they find out some way just to say, this is the news. A, B, C, D. Fact, 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 fact. I would watch that news every morning, every afternoon. I would just want to know the facts. I don't need to know your opinion. I just want to know what happened. Accurate reporting. And then I'm smart enough to form an opinion. If you give me the correct facts of the situation, I will formulate an opinion. And you guys will formulate an opinion. What do they think? We're too dumb to understand? They need to explain it for us? It's all BS. This should never. Whenever they came up with the 24/7 news station, that was like literally when, as Jefferson would say, the freedom of the press was limited, therefore lost. You can't have news 24/7 because then all of a sudden that creates incentives to create news and to over exaggerate news or undervalue certain news. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden it becomes something totally different. Now you're a network that depends on news. And they've been doing good under Trump. He creates news. But what they do is they just take things and just run. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything's politicized. I don't want to hear your friggin' opinion. I just want to know the facts. And I'm sorry I'm going off on this whole tangent. I meant to end this video 10 minutes ago. But when I see this crap on, I see how they deceive, and they have to say the keywords. They always have conspiracy theorists, and just say it for what it is. Say it for what it is. If she really thinks that it is a problem, just say, we all know that there's people who think that, the V word, these things that, they can cause certain things. And I don't want to spread that type of whatever, but, it is harmful, and you should speak to a doctor, and but don't go on the internet for health advice. I don't know, something like that. Instead of this like fake scripted conspiracy theorists say this cure for cancer and this flat earth, and then ease into the things that are actually controversial. Actual doctors have come out and talked about it and said, hey, why was it autism wasn't happening at the rate it's happening now? There's a lot of people that this is really personal for, and my heart goes out to them, because like if my daughter, even like anything, like she's upset about any, like if she gets hurt, I don't know, like the smallest things, it like kills me. I mean, anyone who's a parent knows. It's just I couldn't imagine. But then again, that doesn't mean they're not going to be okay. Some autistic kids are the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. They can do certain things so brilliantly. It blows me away. It's like, are you human or a cyborg? Like, how can you possibly do that or know that or like create that? So, we're all different, but it's just the you can't deny that it wasn't happening at that rate. Oh, it was misdiagnosed. No, it wasn't. No. In fact, you're overdiagnosing. All these kids who are just full of energy, all right? And you know what? Those are the type of guys who are go-getters, and they create well for their family later in life. But instead, no, they have ADD. Then they're just sitting there and come on. It's wrong. It's wrong. I'm thinking more and more about this stuff personally, because now my daughter's 3. It's like I'm thinking more and more about this stuff, and the way they do math. I don't know if this is like a New England thing or like a Northeast or East Coast thing, but the math thing. What is it? What is it? Half truth. Yeah. Yeah. And what is what's the thing that what is the math? Anyone have kids in school? What is the thing that they do? They have a new way that they do math. It's like this long system that the reason they do it is it helps so that, I believe, don't quote me though, because I'm not, but I think it's something to do with like no, you guys don't have something to do with I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then you know what you're doing when you give kids meds? This is the real problem. And this is like, before I went into communications, I was in school for psychology. And honestly, I didn't get my bachelor's, but I was at like the associate's level. But I have the knowledge of beyond a bachelor's when it comes to psychology. I took enough classes. I just was having trouble getting there every day. I 8 A's and everything. And I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to say, like, I do understand a lot about psychology. And one thing, especially with like addiction or smoking or really anything, we have learned behaviors. And once you have a learned behavior, it's hard to untwist it. Like people think they can will themselves out of things. It's not that easy. You have to change the whole. Basically, this is how it goes. So, if every day you have to take a pill, well, now that's a learned behavior where you don't know how to cope unless you do that. Like, you need to unlearn that behavior and learn how to cope without the, it's like, it's funny. It's like if someone has a certain particular thing that they take, if you take that away from them, their life goes haywire because that's what they know. That's their learned behavior. And in their head, that's the only way they can deal with their day. That is That is how they go about their day. I mean, mess with someone's medication and see what happens. I mean, and not just medication. Like it's just like this is all based off Pavlov with the dogs, and they would salivate when he showed them the meat. He'd ring a bell and then bring them steak, and they'd salivate, and he'd measure the salivation. Then he'd keep doing that, and then it got to the point where he didn't even need the meat anymore. He'd ring the bell, and they would salivate. So it's a learned behavior, even though you're not actually getting the result, the food. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense to you guys. Um, so you're teaching young kids that in order to deal that first of all, you're telling them there's something wrong. That's not good for their self. You're different, and there's something. Oh, you're special. Screw that. The kid's gonna feel weird. There's something wrong. When really, he's just in reality, if he had been born 20 years earlier, he'd be a go-getter and be very successful, extremely successful. I mean, the some of the richest people on earth, the workaholics, those types of people, workaholics and stuff. If they were going through school, they would be labeled with ADHD. And again, I'm not a doctor, but yes, I'll say that with confidence. They would get labeled with ADHD. And yeah, like Dan the man said, accept them as they are. Why can't they just do that? Isn't that the new thing? It's all about acceptance and tolerance. And I get that. But then when it gets to a point where it's like, you know, yo, you have to do and say what you guys have no me at a college up here in Massachusetts where I go to school, all the deans know me. It's no good. There's been a few incidents, let's just say, for the least, because I don't put up with the bullshit. And these kids are freaking crazy these days. I'm telling you, they grew up on the internet, and it's like they I don't know. It's like their parents like didn't really parent them. They just kind of went to work and left them with screens and computers and games, and they formulate these ideas and they think they know it all, and they just don't. They just don't understand basic crap. They don't even know how manipulated they are. I feel bad for them, but I can't stand it sometimes. Like, I got in trouble in school a couple of semesters ago. This black girl, we were doing presentations, and somebody did a presentation on illegal. This is when the caravans are coming out. So they say about the caravans, right? That they were talking about that, and the professor wants people to ask questions because you're supposed to, because that way they could, in order to get them graded. So I tried to give them an easy question, like if they did their work. So I said, how long is the process to get in the United States? Because at the time I was like, hey, I don't support coming in illegally at all. That ain't cool. No, they first of all, they could be anyone mixed in with them. It needs to be done right. This is I wish the world was unicorns and rainbows, but sorry, folks, it's not. All right, unless you want to live in fear. I've lived in neighborhoods where it's all undocumented. It's scary when you go out at night and the way they operate. They come from a different world, and you have to be hard to deal with that stuff, especially when you're the only white dude in the whole fucking neighborhood. There's not even black people there. It's just illegal immigrants. That's it, and drug addicts, bunch of drug addicts. But I got an apartment. It was next to a place. Thank God I got out of there. Freaking crazy. But anyway, so someone's doing a presentation. I said, "What? How long is the if let's say somebody up in El Salvador? That's one of the big ones. MS-13 and all that. MS-13 was in Boston way back in the day. We're talking like 2001. And the police turned their cheek the other way and let all the other gangs of Boston push them from Somerville all the way into one little corner of Chelsea and also Maverick Station, East Boston. that's where you have MS-13. They're like, at least then they might have expanded by now, because the El Salvadorians, their numbers are up and they're controlling the drug game. That's the truth. So at least like up here, like as far as distribution. Um, so, anyways, um, I ask, I say, how long is the process to become a United States citizen? You know, if someone wants to be a United States citizen, they want to do it the right way. You know, they're living in El Salvador, you know, a bunch of, and you know, MS-13 wasn't created there, by the way, just so you know. It was created in LA, and then they deported all those guys because they were all like murdering and, you know, so they deport them back to El Salvador. All of a sudden, now they're teaching the El Salvadorians from their native land the art of gang banging, and they basically started taking over cities. They started taking over cities. The police couldn't handle them. The police would try to come, and they were outgunned and stuff like that. So they were a big problem in El Salvador now. Um, so, anyways, let's say someone's living in that environment. They want to come to the U.S. I get it. There's a woman with a child. Her husband got killed by an MS-13 gang member. Let's just say, okay? She wants to come to the U.S. So, you know, how long does it take? How long does she have to wait? I want to know. Because I want to know if it's an unreasonable amount of time, reasonable, or too quick. You know what I mean? You know what I think's reasonable? 3, 4 years. You know, like something like that. I think that 3 years. I think that's reasonable. So I asked that question. I never got an answer, by the way. Right away, the black girl turns around to me. She goes, "What the fuck is it to you, white boy? What does your privileged ass know about anything?" And I stood up and I was like, "What'd you just say?" And she goes, "You heard me, white boy, you fucking crack." That's how she's talking. That's okay, no problem, right? Talking to me like that. Okay. I said, first of all, whatever you're talking about, the privilege, you have no idea how I grew up or what I've done in my life. You have no idea. All right, I can tell. I said, I can tell. I said, where'd you grow up? Around here? I was like, what, are you joking me? I'm not one of these. The colleges in Wellesley. I said, I'm not one of these Wellesley little white boys who let you talk to you like that. All right, I'm a serious dude. You're not gonna talk to me like that. And she goes, oh, really? So what are you saying? What are you saying? And I'm like, listen. I'm like, she goes, what did I? So she started making it about like a black thing or something like that. And I'm like, listen, I was like, my daughter is a quarter black. My wife is half black. It's not about race to me. You're just an asshole. And then she goes, oh wait, your daughter quarter black and your wife's half black. Oh, we're cool, we're cool, we're cool. And I'm like, so if I didn't marry a girl that's half black, we ain't cool? Like, you know, like you're the one who's making everything about race and being ridiculous. I'm asking like a legitimate question I want the answers to, and this and that. And all of a sudden, of course, just like I thought, a bunch of basketball players on the team, a bunch of black guys approached me. We almost got in a fight, and I wasn't backing down by any. In fact, they started to back down. And they all of a sudden the dean comes. He goes, "Let's go for a walk." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is bullshit." I'm like, "I'm tired of this shit." I'm like, just because I'm white, anyone could just talk to me however they want, and you know, and and I told him the whole story. And we're walking. He goes, "Let's get some air, walk outside." And then we're outside, and he's like, "All right, so where's your car?" And I'm like, "Why?" I said, "Wait, are you kicking me? Are you like banning me? Are you kicking me out of school?" He goes, "Yes, you can't come back. You can come to class in 48 hours, but you need to leave." I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "I didn't do anything. I was supposed to just sit there and just be berated." Like, and first of all, I never said anything racial. All I did was defend myself and say, this isn't about race. Why you keep talking about how I'm white and you're black? It has nothing to do with it. It had to do with a project. And I said, how long does it take to get in this country? And all of a sudden, what the fuck is it to you, white boy? Because all these white dudes, they just sit there, all fucking corny ass motherfuckers. I'm telling you, you young white dudes, don't just sit there and just let people treat you however. That's not right. Then again, that's not saying like you shouldn't be racist either. If you're a racist, hey, you deserve it. But if you're just like taking crap and you're like a self-hating person, you hate yourself, like those white people who like fuck white people and they're white. It's like, what is wrong with you? And it's not about white, black, Spanish. We're all being manipulated, all of us. But just for your own pride, you're gonna sit there and just be like plowed over. Fuck that. I can't believe it. It was like they never had somebody that stood up for themselves, and they didn't know how to handle it. And you know what happened the night when I came back the next class? They had these guys who were getting paid all kinds of money. These four guys come and tell the stories of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, which only made the situation worse. Now everyone thinks I'm a racist, but thank God there was some solid black people there that were like, listen, I was there. This dude's like dead cool, and he didn't do anything. This girl's out of her friggin' mind. She's the one who was saying all this racial shit, and he's married. His girl is black. He has a quarter black daughter, and his only problem was like, what? So I didn't have if my wife wasn't half black, like we're not cool. Like, is this like kill whitey time? You know what I mean? Like, so there were some cool people who talked down the situation, but the dean at the school, they made the situation worse. They got me all pissed off by doing this whole fake let's get some air when they're kicking me out. And then they fucking it turns into they have these friggin' total phonies. First of all, their history wasn't even right. It was so phony. It was like literally like disgusting what I watched, and like the whole thing it was based on a situation where it was exactly as I described. I am not even exaggerating a bit. Exactly as I described. I would never disrespect someone for no. I'm just not like that. In real life, I don't get confronted. On YouTube, a lot of people talk real tough to me, but I'm 6'2", 220. Nobody comes up to me, and I'm not fat. You know what I mean? I'm not like six pack either, but I'm in good shape. People don't just come up to me trying to fight me. You know what I mean? Or talking shit to my face. So this one girl, but she was just like she just saw a white person, and we're sitting at death, and she knows I'm a man. I'm not gonna hurt her, so it's different. It's men that don't come. The guy who came up to me, he was a big dude. He was on the basketball team, but I ain't backing down. You know what I mean? But they never should have came to that. It's just ridiculous. That's what's going on at these schools, though. Just what I'm trying to get the point across. This is one example. There's been so many situations, um, and it has. That's so true. It's like divide and conquer. We're being divided, and they're like, they're fighting racism, but what they're really doing is like magnifying racism. Now it's like and I understand what's going on, but I could see certain white people who it's like, fuck white people, fuck you, you fucking white piece of shit, you white privilege, you fucking piece of, it's like free season on them, right? And then they kind of get a little radicalized, and they're like, you know what? The fuck N words and fuck Spanish, and it's just everyone. We're all different in some ways. You know what I mean? Even amongst white people, it's freaking like, you're fucking wop, you Mick. It's like I don't mean to say race. I don't know why it's okay for me to say the white race, but maybe because I'm Portuguese and Irish, so everyone thinks I'm Italian, so I could say all three of them. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's crazy. I think it's something that was worth mentioning. I don't know. Yeah, armchair warriors. Man, there's nothing I hate worse than tough guys on the internet. I mean, they're hitting the keys real hard, and then when they hit enter, oh man, then you should see how he hit enter. He's like, bang, yeah, boy. Oh, I whoop your ass. I hate that shit. Dude, if you ever see me in person, anybody who's ever talking to me, I'm not even directing towards any particular person because you know what? There's been so many people who have done it. They've done it on camera, they've done it in comments, they've done it in chat. It's all this tough talk. I hate that. I hate that because trust me, you would not be talking like that if you saw me in person. It's just different, And I'm not. And the thing is, I'm not going to talk like that to people just because that's not how I am. I'm not disrespectful to people. I don't know. Only if they deserve it. Like that dude with that pretended to be a veteran, made up this whole story about his friend dying in his lap and all that bullshit. And before we had that conversation, this is where I messed up on. This is the video, by the way. People were trying to say was fake, which obviously it's not fake. You can watch it, you can tell it's not freaking fake. I'll put my life, put my everything on that. It's not freaking fake. It's a Russian guy, and you could even hear my mother in the background afterwards because I was getting in her car. It's like obviously not fake. I'm not an actor. Like it was real. Um, but what happened was I was watching a different. I'm not gonna say the name of the channel, but a YouTube channel, and he was like, "Oh, you listen to those kind of?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I like them." And he started mentioning channels he liked. And to be fair, he mentioned a different channel. I'm not gonna say who it is. And I was like, "Oh, wow!" And I was like, "Do you listen to My Fugal TV, My Fugal News?" And he was like, "Oh, I love that show." This is what he said. He goes, "I wish they had the more phone calls, like cut down some of the stuff and have more phone calls." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've called into that show a couple times, this and that." Eventually, and then he's like, "Oh, really? Why would you call about?" And I let him know I was in the Navy, I was a cryptologist, top secret clearance, all of that. That's when he starts telling his fake story. All right, you know what I mean? But I was waiting. So once he starts telling his fake story, I'm like, veterans don't talk like this. And there's a couple of things he said that don't add up as far as like being a vet. So that's when I started recording. If I was making a fake video, don't you think I would, if it's like all like coordinated and fake, don't you think I'd have him say like, fuck you, man. I'm Fugal fam. I love my Fugal. No, my biggest regret was that I didn't re-ask and say, hey, by the way, when you were talking about my Fugal, how you love it, are you on the military Discord? Like, I just got so angry in the moment. I didn't expect him to be that dumb. And he went like so much further live on camera. So, then all of a sudden people say, that he faked the video. And everyone just believes. I don't even know how that came up, but it's been something I. Oh, why it bothers me is people have been messing with because Richie, he saw the video and he was like, yeah, that's bullshit, the stolen valor and all that, and it was a Mafugal News fan, uh, like a big time fan, but he never said I'm Fugal fan. I'll say that. He never said I'm Fugal fam or mafia or whatever they say nowadays. I don't know. They have so many different like group things, right? So to be fair, he never said that. He never talked about Discord. It's my problem. I should have asked him again. But at that point, he's talking about people dying in his lap, his best friend dying in his lap. I'm like, so I asked him like real questions, like, dude, all right, yeah, okay, so first of all, we don't even know each other. You're talking about this stuff, like, okay, and they like, you guys got to watch the video. It's like one of them. I might even change it because it's a little bit dishonest to put Fugal fam. That's the one thing I'll say. He never said I'm Fugal fam. You know what I mean? But he loves my Fugal news. That's my word. That's exactly what he said. And he said he wished there was more calls and less ads. That's the truth. No fucking fake videos. What do you think this is? I'm getting truth here. But I didn't even make this is just supposed to be a quick video. I just thought going. I need to stop. Alright. Alright guys. I love you guys. Alright, Red Pill Dispensary. I'll see you guys tonight. Big show tonight. Wait, am I even live? After all that? Oh, I am live. I've been live the whole time? I've been live, right? Alright. Yo, big show tonight, guys. Take care. Thank you, Sunshine State. Yeah, big show tonight. All I can say is Redwood. And that's just one of many things. And by the way, the last show, it was 7 hours. I know that nobody can sit through that whole thing. I was just so pissed off because they cut my stream on the video before, and then they ended up cutting that stream too. They're messing with my stuff. So I was angry. I said, you know what? They pissed me off. I'm going all night. I got enough to go all night. Because I did. And I didn't even finish it. I still had another like hour and a half of material. I'm gonna maybe cut that up into multiple videos. With based on the subject I'm talking about, because there's some good, real important information. Also, if you guys aren't into Q, then like you'll know right away, right at the beginning of the video. I'll say, all right, Q posted, and then you'll know this is a Q video. That I have a Q video coming up soon too. There are so many proofs, and it's unbelievable what he just exposed about Pelosi, some stuff that the president did that matches exactly what was predicted by Q. This stuff's real. I'm talking to like my sources where I get good information. They were skeptical. Now they're saying, "What do you think about the last?" They're asking me what I think about the. They realize it's real. It's unbelievable. It's like the greatest story ever not known. It's like it's gonna go down as like the biggest thing, yet most of the country is missing it. I'm telling you guys, don't just count it out. You know, I'm not one of those people. I'm gonna take money to push it. I've been involved with this since the day it's not the day it started, but the second month it started, because I started following it like religiously. I shouldn't say that word, but you guys understand the point. When it started in that November, it started in October, and the next month is when I started. In fact, I was in the group with I was in the it was like a voice chat. It was just the voices. We couldn't see each other. Do you guys know Patriot Soapbox with Pam and his wife with the Gap? What's her name? Yeah, if you guys know it, Pam. It's really for pamphlet. And then oh man, what are all their names? There was a whole group of them. Anyways, they were all in this chat, and they were talking about starting a 24/7 Q show, and it was like like anyone could join it, but there was only like 20 people in there, and I was one of the people in there, and I was just kind of lurking. I talked a little bit, but I just lurked. I just wanted to learn about it. They seemed to be more well versed. Uh-oh. All right. You know what? Okay. So yeah. So all I'm saying is that on those type of videos, I'll let you know. So if you're not into that type of stuff, you won't find out 10 minutes in. You'll know right away. All right. So you don't have to complain about it in the comments. I'll let you know right away. All right. It's what I believe. I'm not gonna veer from it. In fact, I might have some kind of schedule. You know, um, it's kind of hard. You can't schedule a Q because you don't know when he's gonna post. But I'm gonna have certain nights for call-in shows. We're due for a good call-in show, right? So I'm thinking a call-in show, maybe on the new year. I'll talk to you guys. I'm gonna think about it, and tonight, in the video, I'll let you guys know when the call-in show is, because people seem to be wanting that call-in show. I'm getting a lot of requests for a call-in show, so I want to give some advance notice, because lately I've been doing the surprise call-in shows, and they still turn out fabulous. Like, it seems like the best person that possibly could have called. I mean, I had one guy on for 2.5 hours. He was on point. We were like on the same. That was a great call. Tony, how you doing, brother? Man, that was a great call. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of you guys. A lot of the audience. I don't know what's happened. I don't know. If, people, you know what I noticed too? Sometimes I get unsubscribed from channels, and I think that might, if you might want to make sure that you're subscribed still, or that it's all instead of, you know what I mean? So every time I post, you'll get it. Hit the bell and then hit all. You know how many people just subscribe and don't hit all, and they're like, "No notifications, man. No notifications." I see that so much, and it's like, hit the bell and hit all. And it's like, oh, I'm getting notifications now. So, but no, but the reason they do that is sometimes, yeah, YouTube messes with it and doesn't give you notifications. I actually just answered someone's question this morning about how YouTube demonetizes me, and then every single video I have to appeal it. And I told him about the whole process of that, and I got to do a video on that too. I got so many videos I want to do, and I'm so busy, and there's only so much time, and you can only do 3 videos in a day, 3. And you can do more than 3, but you can only do 3 and have people get the notification. If I do over 3, you won't get a notification. So, all right, I'll see you guys tonight, unless I have some time today to do maybe like one of those topics that we talked about today or the other day. I mentioned a few topics. I actually have a notebook. I write down show ideas. I have literally like it'll be right now. It's like 25 or something like that. So now I'm gonna add one more. The money. I've never made $1 yet on YouTube. I haven't been paid $1. And of course, when I show the show, I'm gonna prove that. I'm gonna show you guys. I don't just say things. I'm gonna show it. Um, so yeah, that'll be an interesting show, and also that'll help anyone thinking about doing YouTube as a creator, or if you are a creator, realize it's not easy to actually get the money. Like it's cool to see that you made the money, but really the money that I make is from the super chats that I've gotten, and they still take 30% of that. But the ads, I don't make shit. I'll explain the whole thing to you guys. I'm like demonetized from jump, and I'll explain how they do their dirty tricks. And by the way, don't forget the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki or whatever. Her sister is the CEO of 23andMe. You know, the one that asks for your DNA, the most important data in the world, the sacred data of your DNA, your identity, and what they're doing with CRISPR and gene editing. So those are 2 sisters. One is the founder and CEO of YouTube. One is the founder and CEO of 23andMe and collects a bunch of people's DNA, their whole genetic code. Do you know the type of stuff they're doing? And what they do is they don't just like get rid of it. Oh, I never knew. I'm 2% asshole. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, they just took all your data. In 20 years, that's gonna be like the most valuable data, like DNA and things like that. I'm telling you, the science is heading in weird places, and it's all about data because data is what feeds AI. We need like we have currency, but what do we have currency for? All right, we need shelter, food, water. AI don't need that stuff. It just needs data. It just needs to keep learning. And you start giving it genetic code and stuff like that. With CRISPR, they can do anything. They can just go into your genetics, take out you're gonna be bald. Let me take that out. He's gonna have a full set of friggin' beautiful hair. I don't know why, man, whatever, but whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, she's gonna have A cups. Not anymore. Here's some double D's. He's gonna be 5'2". No, he's gonna be 6'8". That's what they do, and it's crazy. Like, and then the other one is Susan, and this is censorship, the worst censorship I've ever seen in my life. YouTube. We got certain channels speaking in pig Latin. You know, seriously, you say the name of a country, he has to speak in pig Latin. You know what I mean? It's like I live in Usad. It's like you don't even know what he's saying. Why do we have to talk like that? What is going on, people? Is this normal? Is that okay? Are we just gonna like talk like that just so I can stay monetized? Or are we gonna be real and say, hey, we want free speech back? We want the propaganda ban back. We don't want propaganda anymore. We want real news. We want to know what's going on. We don't want to have to depend on some YouTuber and we don't know if he's some con artist or being honest or if he's in it for the money and you don't know. And to be honest, you actually probably get better news out of them than you will anyone. as far as the MSM. I don't know, man. This is just supposed to be like a 20-second show. Sorry for the rant, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just need to say shit. Red Pill Dispensary. See you guys tonight. I hope to see you tonight. How do I?